All right, we ready? All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Betsy Hine and I am the Assistive Technology Program Manager for Accessible Resources for Independence. We are the Center for Independent Living that services Anne Arundel and Howard County. And today we are lucky enough to have with us Donna Broadway Calaman, who is the, and I just wrote it down, and the outreach manager for the Telecommunications Access Maryland, the right program, TAM, which is the parent of the Maryland Relay Program and the Maryland Accessible Telecommunications Program, or MAT, which is the equipment program. And she is going to tell us a little bit about both of those. Donna is new to TAM and Maryland Relay. She started during the work at home, so I'm not even sure she's seen the office space yet. Maybe you got interviewed before this all started, but she has been doing a great job. You will notice, if you know anything about the Maryland Relay or the MAT program, that they have redesigned the logos to look a little bit more Maryland colored and themed. So she's been busy doing a lot of different things, but she's going to tell us a little bit about the program. ARI is the contract evaluator for Anne Arundel and Howard County for the MAP program. So if you know anybody who has a need after Donna explains the program to you, we would be the evaluation center that you would come to, and we would take care of you or anybody that you might know. So on that note, Donna, it's all yours.
Hello, everyone. So let me share my screen. Give me a moment. I can't share it.
Katie, do you need to give her permission to share?
Yes, and host disabled participant screen sharing. But I guess while we figure that out. So my name is Donna Broadway Calaman. I am the new outreach manager for Maryland Relay TAM program. So recently, well, until recently, it's only been Maryland Relay, but now we're focusing on the umbrella. So Telecommunications Access of Maryland is the umbrella. And then you have the MAP program that falls under that. And then you have Maryland Relay. But as the outreach manager, I work for all three programs. And you are some of the first people that get to see our new presentation. This is fresh off the presses, so let me see if I can share it. Okay. Okay, so can everybody see it? Okay. And then,
I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so as I'm going through, if you have any questions that are pressing, just make sure to put it in chat and then I'll get to it. But I'll ask that you hold your questions until the end if possible. So Telecommunications Access of Maryland. So that is the title slide. And these are our new logos. I don't know if everybody has seen them, but we have recently updated our logo. So TAM is a state agency that is located within the Maryland Department of Disabilities. So recently we were under the Department of IT, but as of July 1st, we are under the Maryland Department of Disability, and we provide assistance services and equipment for Marylanders who have difficulty using the phone, and you can get that service through Maryland Relay, and you get the equipment through the MAT program, which is the Maryland Accessibility Telecommunications Program. Let me know if I'm speaking too fast. I just realized I might be talking a little fast, so I apologize for that. So Maryland Relay, we have programs for people who may have difficulty speaking. So if you have if you can hear and you have a mild If she was speaking, then we can provide you with the hearing carryover device, a speech-to-speech, and a visually assistant speech-to-speech device, and these are all available by dialing 711, and there is no time limit. So they're available 24/7. We don't take holidays. We don't close down. So 24/7 by dialing 711. And our mail and relay operators, so we facilitate our calls using FCC and state regulations. We follow individual user preferences, and we'll speak more about those later in the presentation. Our relay operators do not engage in personal conversation, so their job is to relay the call. They don't get involved in the conversation. Maybe if you have a question about your service, you can't hear them, that's the only time they'll speak, but they won't speak with you, and all information shared on the call is confidential. So for our hearing carryover, so this is for people who can hear, but they may have difficulty speaking. So using this, you type your message on a TTY, and I do have to let you know that we are moving to phase out TTYs, and we are going to RTT service, which is real-time text. So we're going to be rolling that out soon. So pretty soon, this service through TTY will not be available. And so using this service, your relay operator will voice a message that was typed to the other person, and then the user can listen directly to the other person's response, and then they can respond back. And then this is a visual of how it works. So I'm going to leave that up for a second. Let me know if you have any questions about that. So the person will come on the phone, they will say, hey, how are you doing? And then the relay operator will type, and then they will translate it. So it's kind of how HCO works. And then we have speech to speech, and this is for people who have the ability to hear, but they may have a mild or moderate difficulty speaking, or someone who uses a speech generating device. So using this service, relay operators will revoice, and they will clarify what was said on the call. So the user will listen directly to the other person's response, and then relay will work like that. And then you also can control the operator participation. So you can control how much you want them to participate, if you want them to participate, or you just want them to kind of fall in the background. And then this is another visual of how it works. And using this, everyone can hear and talk at the same time, but it is recommended that if the other person is talking, that you wait until they finish speaking. Not that that will affect the call, but it is recommended that you wait until what they are saying is being revoiced. And then we have our visually assistant, speech to speech, and this will allow the user to view so basically it's like a video call. So you will need a telephone connection, a computer, a webcam, you will need high-speed internet, and then you will use a Skype account. And disclaimer, we are not affiliated with Skype. This is just a service that we have been using. And using the visual assistant, speech to speech, will allow you can read lips, you can see gestures, you can see if someone is nodding and speaking, and then this will allow also you can see any print material. So I guess it's similar to a Zoom meeting, a Google meeting, so it's similar to what we're using now. And then you can also get messaging, and then it gives you a profile based on which you want based on your 711 preferences. And then it's always available, so you don't have to do prior notice to making your phone call. And here are a few tips for our speech-to-speech phone call. So it is recommended that you give your relay operator as much information as possible about the call before the operator dials. It is helpful to pause while the operator repeats your part of the conversation. And you can request the operator remain in the background, or you can request that they assist anytime during the call, and you can also request the operator of either sex, male or female. And then here is a little bit of information about the mail-in relay user profile. So by setting up this profile, this will allow customers to do their preferences for placing and receiving calls, including connection mode, special services, and you can also pre-program up to 50 numbers, and then you can have custom greetings and messages. And then we also offer Spanish services because we do have a lot of Spanish speakers in the state of Maryland. So we offer Spanish relay, and then we also have some Spanish collateral, which I will make sure is available to you. And these Spanish to Spanish phone calls, they are processed by bilingual operators, and they are available for Maryland users who are either using Spanish to Spanish or you can use Spanish to English services. And it works similar to regular relay. You dial 711 or the direct Spanish relay access number, and then you can initiate a phone call with the Spanish-speaking Maryland relay operator, and then calls can be placed to U.S. territories, which include Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So here is a little bit about our Maryland Accessible Telecommunications Program, or our MAT program. So Maryland Relay is the service. MAT is what provides the equipment so that you can use the service. And here are a few things that we offer, but we are going to be changing some of these. So who benefits from the MAT program? People who are deaf or late deaf, and people who are hard of hearing, people who have low vision or they're blind, the deaf blind, people who have difficulty speaking, people who have limited mobility, and people who have cognitive difficulty or they have difficulty dialing numbers. And then this is some of the equipment that we have available. We have amplified phones, we have hand-free phones, we have TTYs, but I have to remind you that we are transitioning from the TTY equipment to RTT, which is real-time text, which utilizes smartphones. So TTYs they won't be available for long, and we're going to transition them out within the next year. We have large button phones. We also have picture phones. We have caption phones. We have mobile devices, emergency dialers, and then we also have more equipment available. And we are working to test equipment and to bring in new equipment. So this list will probably be changing soon. And so our eligibility requirements are residents of Maryland. You must be at least 3 years old, on a limited income. You could be a veteran receiving benefits, someone who is certified as having difficulty using the standard telephone, and people who have a phone service if the equipment requires it. In order to apply for the MAT program, you have to have a completed application, and you can find that on our website, mdrelay.org. We are updating the application, so I have to tell you that we're updating it. I know it's long, so people can complain that it's long and tedious. We are updating it to make it more short and more condensed. And you could call us, or you can video phone us to request your application by mail. You have to have a proof of residence, so you have to live in Maryland. If you don't live in Maryland, then we can direct you to your local we can direct you to your local relay program or your local TAM program. You have to have state issued identification, and you have to have verification of income. And so we do offer free evaluations, and they are required for approved MAP program applicants. And if you decide that maybe you don't meet one of those requirements, but you want to self-purchase the equipment, but you don't know where to start, you can also receive an evaluation as well. And we also have evaluation sites all over the state of Maryland. So here is the map. So equipment training and setup. So upon request, we do offer free training and setup of new equipment. There is warranty information and customer service contact in case you have any problem with your equipment, you have a question of sorts. And if anything changes, maybe your vision changes and make it better or worse, you might have changes in your hearing, anything, then you can be reevaluated. And then these are our outreach coordinators. So maybe you want to do another presentation, you have an event that you want them to attend, but I'm also going to give you the contact information of our MAT program administrator, that is Kevin Steffi. So if you have any questions about the MAT program, you need an application, anything. So Kevin Steffi is the one that you're going to be talking to about that type of stuff. You're not going to be talking to Jenny or Tarita unless you have anything outreach related. And that is pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody need any clarification on anything?
So I just want to add that at this time, your offices are, employees are all telecommuting. So, so if you have an application that you want to complete, it comes very nicely with kind of a self-addressed little envelope and everything, but we're kind of asking that you not send it to the office because mail is only being checked, I don't know, once a month or not very often. So we're kind of asking, especially like for Howard or Anne Arundel County, contact me. Mm-hmm. And I will, you can either mail it to our office address here at ARI, or you can scan it and email it to me, and I will get it off to the person who approves it. And we're finding that's getting a turnaround time of just a couple days versus if it arrives in the office the day after they checked mail, it may sit there for a month before somebody goes up there to check mail. So the evaluators in each of the areas are available to help you complete the application or to help your consumer complete the application and get it, all the information together and sent for approval in a more timely fashion. So anyway, just throwing that out there is that we're just kind of asking for it not to be mailed to the West Preston Street address.
Yes, and I will piggyback on that because that is correct. So we are not in the office, and right now we do not have any plans for us to be in the office probably at earliest, probably early next year. So we're not going to be in the office anytime soon. So like we are checking voice messages, but there may not be an immediate turnaround time. And then Kevin, he does go in the office because he is counting the MAT equipment, and then he is also doing other things. So he's in the office, but he's not in the office frequently. So like Betsy says, you're not going to get the immediate turnaround time that you would if we were in the office. So definitely follow her recommendation and follow with the center or the MAT evaluator. And yeah, I apologize if anybody has been trying to get in touch with us and your turnaround time may be a little bit long. We apologize for that. We are all learning this new work at home procedure.
Yeah, and in terms of the evaluations, so if possible, we are scheduling Zoom evaluations, but given the kind of having to touch and feel and see if something works for you, need for evaluation for these. We are doing in-person ones. We are taking every precaution, masks, hand sanitizers, wipes, wiping everything down before anybody touches it. So we are taking all the precautions necessary to do a safe evaluation, but you know, everybody has different needs, especially if it's like a hearing. You really kind of have to test the phones to see which one works the best for you, because they do have different features and people have different needs. But do know that we're taking every precaution possible to make sure that it's safe.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the chat, and I don't know if that was in response to someone asking if they are compromised, if they can arrange an evaluation, but you just have to reach out to your center, the one that is closest to you or the one that you've been assigned to, and then they will arrange an evaluation for you. So like Betsy said, they're doing Zoom evaluation, and then there are some evaluators that are doing in-person evaluations. And we have ordered PPE equipment, which includes masks, hand sanitizer, and different things. So we are working on that, and we do have procedures in place to keep you safe.
So I would be curious to hear a little bit more about the kinds of equipment people might qualify for. I know you have phones and things, but you also have other pieces of equipment or tools that people can use.
Yeah, so we have phones. We also have iPads. So we have the picture phone. So maybe someone cannot dial a number for whatever reason. They can so they can have the picture, and then they pre-program the number. So if they want to call, let's say their grandparent, then they can push the picture of their grandparent, and then they will dial that number. We have we have a couple of TTYs that we are transitioning from the TTYs. We have hand-free phones. So we pretty much have phones for people. We have different types of phones. So large button phones, caption phones, mobile devices, and then, like, we don't really advertise that we have iPads because people will say, hey, I could get a free iPad, so we really don't advertise that. And then we have emergency phone. And then I also want to add, I forgot to add, so text to 911 is also available in the state of Maryland. I'm not sure if you know that, but seeing emergency dialers made me think of that. So text to 911 is available.
So exciting.
Yes, and going back to the equipment, we are going to be testing new equipment. So we have evaluation groups coming up where we are testing equipment. So some of this is probably going to change, but we are probably going to keep the mobile phones, and we're going to keep the iPads, because the RTT is used on like mobile and smart devices. But the TTYs are going to be transitioned out. I think right now we only have about 2 of them left, so we're not really handing those out.
So then,
Go ahead, Katie.
it's okay, Joan, go ahead.
I just have a question. This is Joan, and I also work with ARI. And I'm currently working with some people that are moving out of nursing facilities into their own apartment. Do you ever help with someone just like getting started, like a startup type of calls for internet service or phone service or anything such as that, so that they could use your devices?
We can. I would have to ask Kevin more about that. Like, we provide the equipment, but as far as like other services, we may not provide that. But I have to get clarification from Kevin. But I haven't heard that we provide like internet or like the phone service that goes along with the phone.
Okay, thank you. That would be great if you could check.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be expecting something to be ongoing, but just like start up for like a month or two, something like that. Thank you.
Yeah,
We do not. Yeah,
I
we
just
do
got
not
that.
cover internet or phone charges.
I'm sorry, I just got clarification. One of our outreach coordinators is on here, so she's on here. So we do not offer this startup services. I know there are some like organizations that could cover it, and I know, but we don't.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're welcome.
So there's a question in the chat. Do you have low vision equipment?
Yes, we do. So that's pretty much our large button phones in our picture phone.
And there are quite a few devices that are talking phones, so that it will talk, you program it, and when you're dialing a number, it will talk to you.
Oh, and then I also got more clarification. So Verizon will give a discount on like the internet and the phone service, but they won't cover it all. I'm not sure about Comcast, but Verizon will give a discount.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Comcast has a $10 a month, $9.95 plan that people can use. I don't know how good the bandwidth is, so that might be a problem for people who are trying to do a lot of video kinds of conferencing.
I'm sorry, Katie. No, I was just going to say, I think it's suffice for like, just regular streaming and regular video gaming. I think if you have like more than 2 people that are trying to do it at the same time, then you might run across an issue. I think the package is called Essential.
Internet Essentials.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look it up and then I'll send the information to Betsy and then she can send it out to anybody who needs the information. Like I said, we don't provide it.
Great. So just a question on getting evaluated. So for most people who have particular benefits, there is no cost to this program to get the device.
Right.
But is it my understanding that if you don't qualify, that you can still get an evaluation, but that you would have to pay for the device?
Yeah, that is true. So the evaluations are free, but if you don't qualify and you decide to pay for the equipment out of pocket, but you may have a question about what equipment and how to use it, you can still get an evaluation, but we just won't be paying for the equipment.
And I will just add to that that's just a really smart thing to do because, as I said before, the devices are all a little bit different, especially like for hearing. And so some people, they have boost amplification features, but some of the phones also have a feature that slows down the speech of the person talking to you. So some people can hear, but they can't comprehend. So the slowing down the speech makes it easier for them to comprehend. There are tone buttons on the phones that can adjust as we get older. Frequency becomes an issue. So some people lose that high frequency pitch so that you can change the tone to make it deeper. But you really have to test all that. And depending on what the hearing loss is, certain phones are better than other ones, and you just don't know that until you try it. So you can go and order the phones from Amazon, but it's better to test and see which one works best for you before you spend the money.
Yes, and someone had a question about when you would contact Mail-in Relay or MD-TAP, and we work closely with MD-TAP, so you can contact either or, so you could contact us directly if you have a question, if you need mat equipment or anything else, or you could contact MD-TAP, and if there's a question or they need us, and they can get in contact with us. And then also MD-TAP is for technology and we are for telecommunications.
And so I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but a little exciting for me is that as of July 1st, TAM has moved under the Maryland Department of Disabilities, which is a much better fit than where it was, which was under the Department of Technology. Do it from the state of Maryland, which is great with the equipment, but understood nothing about disability. So, it falls under a much better fit now.
Yeah, so I mentioned that a little bit in the beginning, and we're excited about that as a department because DOD is a smaller department. DOIT is bigger. Like they don't really care about not that they don't care about it, but that's not their focus. Their focus is IT. They do IT for the entire state. But with DOD, we work closely with John Brennan, who is the assistant secretary. We work closely with the director of communications over there. So we have a closer relationship over there. So I think this is definitely a better fit for us. Because not saying that we didn't really work closely with anybody from Do It, but we work closely with people from DOD. And I think it helps that they are a smaller agency. And then, yeah, I think it helps that they're smaller.
And that they understand disabilities.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
I said, and they understand disability.
Yes, they do. I think we would just underdo it because technology, telecommunications, I think they just thought, okay, we'll sit and underdo it. Yeah, somebody had a question about the Clarity phone.
Yes, that's me. This is
Yeah.
Rochelle from Independence Now. I have a consumer who has a Clarity phone. She's blind and partially deaf, and it's broken. So I wanted to know during quarantine, what's the procedure for a new Clarity phone?
So you can send me an email. I'll put my email address in the chat. So send me an email and then I will send the contact information to Kevin Steffi, who is the MAT program administrator, and he will follow up so that she can get new equipment if need be.
Okay, thank you so much.
Is her current equipment from the state, from the MAP program?
Yes, it is. So we do have it in our office, and then we have it at the different evaluation centers, which we have been working with during the pandemic. So Kevin actually goes to, well, he's been to all the centers. I think there was one or two that he hasn't been to, but he has been to all the centers. So he's abreast of the equipment, he's counted the equipment, and then we have equipment in our office too. So like I said, so you need a new Clarity phone. So we do have them. So I'll just get in contact. So send me contact information and I'll get in contact with him and he'll follow up with you so that you or your customer can get what you need.
Thank you. Truly appreciate it.
So I'm going to send you the email now. Yes, but if anybody has any issues with their equipment, if you have a question, if you have any follow-up, then I will send your information to Kevin Steffi. And he's a MAT administrator, so he is the one that does all the follow-ups. If it needs to go to like an evaluator, then he'll handle that.
Okay.
And just another FYI about the equipment. So the way the program works is that the equipment belongs to the state of Maryland, but you are able to use it for typically what they say is 3 years. After 3 years, you're eligible for a new evaluation unless something has changed in your condition and the device you have is no longer meeting your needs, then you can request a new evaluation and get new equipment. The equipment is under warranty for 3 years. So if there are any issues with it, it can be either fixed or replaced. The state can provide you with a loaner while that's happening. Add that.
And let me put his information in the chat. Okay. And realize I was still sharing my screen. I apologize.
You have a lot of email to answer.
This is my first Zoom presentation. So most of my presentations have been in person. So this is my first Zoom presentation. So. Okay.
Right, any other questions or I guess any announcements that anyone wants to make?
I just wanted to say thank you. You did a great job for being your first time on Zoom.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's different because I'm
It's very different.
yeah. So outreach is usually in person, so it's different having to pivot to it being online. Yeah, and I didn't realize people could still see my screen. So, but it's my work computer, so it's nothing embarrassing on here. And I'm gonna share my email too, and I'm also going to share the supplemental information sheets. So we have a general one, and then we have one that's related to Matt, and then that has Kevin Steffi's contact information on it.
Hi, this is Audrey. I work with Accessible Resources for Independence as our COVID-19 program manager, and I had to get off this this call for a little bit. So if this has already been broached, I apologize. But I have I think that nowadays we're having like a lot of people who have like technology needs and aren't super familiar with technology. And then, you're stuck at home. So technology is the way to access, your friends and family and lots of support. So I'm wondering what kind of needs you've heard about from the people that you've worked with in terms of learning how to use technology. Like, do people want to learn how to use Facebook or Zoom, or does anybody ever mention that? I'm hoping that we can come together with some, or ARI can come up with some independent living skills trainings focused on those topics.
That is definitely something you probably have to ask the evaluators or the coordinators who've been in the field more, because generally we just provide the equipment, so we don't really do the specified training on that type of stuff.
So, I will just add that for the consumers who get iPads, they come equipped with apps for their specific needs. So whether it's hearing or speech or cognitive, so there are particular apps that come on that iPad to fit their needs. So the evaluators do a little bit of setup and training for it. Sometimes, if it's a cognitive or speech issue and there's an AAC, an augmented alternative communication device on there, we are not really trained to train on that. So, we kind of try to refer them back to a SLP for that.
And then, I was just informed that would be MDTAP. And then it also looks like Jessica Stein from DDA is working on the training around that. And then her contact information is in the chat. So if anybody's interested in that.
What's the training that she's working on around? I'm sorry.
I guess she's working on the training.
She's working on a training
like social media. I'm sorry.
She's working on a training on how to help people learn how to use Zoom and Facebook and things like that.
Love to post that when she's ready to do it, so we're not all, doing the same thing over and over.
I was just thinking if somebody else was working on creating one, it might be a good idea to email Jessica and just see how far along she is, because I'm not sure where she is in the process.
Not creating one, but we know that the Senior Planet, one of the websites we've been talking with about stuff, they have a couple of those, but we'd much prefer it be done by a person with a disability. So
Yeah, she is someone who is visually impaired.
Yeah, I know Jessica.
Kind of from that angle.
It'd be great.
All right. Well, if there's not any other questions or comments, and does anyone have any announcements to make of maybe things coming up people might be interested in, since we have a group here? Every Monday at 2 p.m., the Maryland Centers for Independent Living host our I Am Independence Amplified Maryland series. This coming Monday will be a session on veterans. I don't have the stuff in front of me, but you can sign up. The information's on our Facebook page, and we usually send out an email blast as well to our contacts. If you are not subscribed to our email list, you can do so on our webpage. I'll put that in the chat box. All right. Well, Donna, thank you so much for spending time with us, and I think I saw Tarita on here, and is it Jenny? Jenny's
on here, but Tarita's on here. So Tarita has she's been helping me. So this is
yeah.
So thank you publicly to Tarita, and thank you everybody for your patience. I am embarrassed. Well, Jenny is here. I'm embarrassed that I didn't stop sharing my screen, but
oh, you did great.
And we have, like I said, we have supplemental information. So we have information flyer, which is pretty much a condensed 2-page version of the PowerPoint presentation. And then we also have a flyer related to that. And then we are working on more collateral information. So we're working on like a package for people who may have information related to Maryland Relay or the MAP program on their website. So we also have wording for that. And we're pretty much updating all of our collateral. We will have an information flyer for every program and a lot of the equipment that we have. So if you want that, send me an email and let me know. And we will send that out as soon as it's done. And then Jenny is hosting a webinar next Tuesday about caption telephone, and she has left the link to attend in the chat box. And so that's pretty much.
Well, again, thank you, Donna and team, for coming on, and Betsy for arranging this, and all of you for joining us. Hope to see you. We're doing this every 2 weeks, so we'll have another session coming up in 2 weeks, and then our every week Monday I Am at 2 p.m. So hope to see you all again.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Donna.